At home on every rural road, Hyundai Country Calendar.
It's tailing time on this award-winning Southland farm.
They should get through 5,000 easy enough.
It takes only like a fraction of a second and they're gone again, back to their mums.
Come on, Bella, come on.
Okay.
And for the woman in this working relationship who was born halfway around the world, it's been a steep learning curve.
Oh, pass me a packet, then I'll do it. Give me a packet and I'll get one out.
I just give him a few warnings, and if he keeps going, I just go home and say, do it yourself.
It's going to be a testing and busy day at Bushy Park. The sun hasn't quite risen yet, but already the pace is picking up. On this farm in the Hukanui Hills of Southland, there's thousands of lambs to be tailed in a single day.
They should do 5,000 a day unless we have too many bulls up. They should get through 5,000 easy enough.
Bushy Park's owner, Vince Ainsley's hired a local tailing gang with mobile drafting yards. But things can still go wrong. First, they have to separate the ewes from the lambs.
The lambs obviously lose their mums, so they just have no comprehension what to do, so they'll run in every different direction to get away from you. And that's sort of where they'll break away from you, the ewes and lambs. Once they do that, once they start breaking from you, it's pretty impossible, even with good dogs, to stop them. The trick to tailing, good men, plenty of gates, and everyone knowing what their job is without having to be told. Simple solution, really.
Out of bed early and helping to keep order is young Ben Ainsley.
Yeah, you can't just stuff around the get a road because, yeah, that can cock it up. My main part is like muscling them in or pushing them into a corner of the paddock and then just, while they're tailing, push the lambs into the pens and stuff, make sure none jump out. It was a bit tiring getting up first, but yeah, got over it. It's going pretty well. We haven't had any muck-ups yet, so yeah, it's all going well. They've all got in the pen.
First mob done, and the mobile yards are on the move. Vince and Ben are off to muster another mob for tailing. Vince worked alongside his father, just as Ben works alongside him now.
I think if he was allowed to leave school, he possibly would and just become a farmer, but definitely don't want that to happen. He's got to get schooling, he's got to see the outside world and go and work for another boss before he comes home, and if he does want to come home and work for his dad or take over the farm.
I started getting out and riding my motorbike and helping Dad mustering all the sheep when I was about, say, 7, 8 years old. I'm training my first pup at the moment. Not sure if I want to become a farmer and take over the farm or become a helicopter pilot. Something definitely to do with the outside world though.
I guess I wanted to be a farmer, and I got thrown into it a little bit earlier than probably I wanted to. You know, I was only 22 when Dad died of bowel cancer. I'd spent a couple of years at Lincoln doing a diploma in farm management, and then during that time Dad had got unwell, so after that finished I come home. Pretty much landed with full responsibility of the full management of the farm. When I think back on it, I was probably quite young, but I guess I just had to take it in my stride. There wasn't a lot of options. So 1,100 hectare farm. At the time, certainly it was a lot of responsibility because A, I was dealing with death of my father, and B, having to sort of still manage the day-to-day runnings of the farm. Luckily I had some good neighbours that were able to help me.
Of his 6 brothers and sisters, Vince was the one who always wanted to be a farmer.
When Dad was still alive, I went to the bank and borrowed money and brought 500 ewes, and slowly worked my way up through owning the stock and plant. Yeah, there were certainly some tough times. You know, we borrowed a lot of money. Like, the farm was valued by an independent valuer and everyone was given their equal shares. I guess I was grateful for the opportunity, but there were certainly some stressful years dealing with the loan that we did have. When you're losing money and you owe the bank a lot of money and you're going backward, not very enjoyable, is it? Fortunately, we had a couple of good years that managed to get ourselves out of the hole, but yeah, we wouldn't have wanted a couple more bad years. We would have been too far in the hole, would have been questioning whether it was worth doing it or not. We still owe a lot of money, but I can sort of see light at the end of the tunnel.
For Mark Taylor and his gang, tailing time is a short, sharp season. He's been tailing lambs around here for years.
Probably been running for about close to 20 years. Well, most of it's local, but we do a bit up towards Tiarnell and a wee bit up towards Lawrence. About half of them, probably shearers, yeah.
Mark designed the yards himself, and Vince says they're ideal for the job.
Trying to think outside the square to make his job easier, but also to make things a bit more efficient for his men. So designed that ability to draft 4 ways, which allows us to get the stock through the yards a lot quicker. It's a lot easier on the ewes and lambs, and certainly makes the job faster, and that sort of helps them obviously do the numbers they're doing.
Tailing's a big day for all the Ainsley family, including Mother Bella.
It's great, the kids get a day of school and they love to hang around and help out as much as they can. Ben is the oldest, he's 13, and we've got Sophie who's 11, Anna is 9 and Sarah is 7.
Bella grew up in Holland. She came to New Zealand as a tourist in 2001.
I was traveling around the world and I met an English girl and we were doing some shearing work. And then it was New Year's Eve and the whole shearing gang went to the pub and they invited us. They said, come along. And that's where I met Vince. And he said, oh, come and have a look at my farm. So came here for a few days and I was about to fly out. So I had to change my ticket. And I stayed and I stayed and I kind of never left. So I love it. What's your side of the story?
Well, it was the one and only time I was nicely dressed, and I've been a disappointment ever since.
Yeah, that's right.
And originally she was going to leave after 4 days.
Yeah, it was quite funny because he had this really nice top, and I thought, oh, he's really nice. Well, he's never worn a top ever since. I've learned a lot about farming. When I came here, I actually didn't know anything. I was from a small town in Holland. I've been here now for 15 years and time has flown. At the beginning, I really had to get used to the tailing. It doesn't look that nice, but if you don't take them off, you get all those flies on it and they will die. And you see, it takes only like a fraction of a second and they're gone again, back to their mums.
And by coming to New Zealand, Bella Ainsley's realised her own childhood dream. These days, life for the Ainsley family on Bushy Park Farm in Southland is easier, but it's still pretty hectic.
Okay, have you guys got everything? Okay. Have you got your homework done? Going to drop the kids off at the bus stop, which is about 7 k's up the road, and then I'll drive to school today. It's always a hurry to get everybody in the car, it's always rushing. Have you got this? Have you got that? Hurry up, we're missing the bus. And I'm also the relief teacher, so often it works out like 2, sometimes 3 days a week, which is enough for me with my kids and the farm and my horse. I tell my friends in Holland it's 20 k's or 30 k's to my school, and it only takes me 20 minutes. But there's no traffic lights, not one. There's no traffic jams. Often in the mornings I only see about 5 calves, so it's very, very relaxing.
Dogs are asleep.
Well done, very good. Last page. The kids are really nice. It's a beautiful environment here. Like we've got the playground and the paddocks behind it. Sometimes when I'm teaching here, I quickly take a photo and I send it home to my colleagues in Holland because it's all concrete there, the playgrounds, and there's lots of traffic and lots of noise. And here you just hear the birds chirping. Hermit crab is not for you. I say, well, this is where I'm teaching now. I feel really lucky and very privileged to be teaching here.
Back on Bushy Park Farm, it's shearing time. The property's one of the longest established farms in Southland. Owner Vince Ainsley says the shearing shed dates back to the 1870s.
Yeah, well, the shed's reasonably original, like there's 1871 marked up on the shed there. 42 years you've been coming here.
Well, it's just trying to think, and I thought it must be close to 40.
And ever since the Ainsleys have owned it, they've used the same shearing gang.
So Bill Ellis, the shearing contractor we've been using, he's been coming here since we actually brought the farm back in 1974. 42 years they've been working for us. Originally they were working for Dad and just sort of moved through. It's sort of a family business. Most of the shearers are sort of part of the family. They've done our family a great job over 40 odd years. So we're shearing our rams today. This is the time of the year we go and buy rams. I quite like to shear them and have a look at them and get a bit of an idea of what I need to go and purchase. Pretty happy, like, you know, it's always nice to see them come out of the wall, still looking all right. So they should after the spring we've had, but yeah, it's not an easy job shearing rams. Glad I don't have to do it. The sheep make up 75–80% of our gross income. It's obviously our bread and butter. It's pretty important to do a reasonably good job, and that's a combination of wool and meat.
Bella Ainsley's learned a bit about sheep since she came to Bushy Park, but her animal of choice is the horse.
This is Lotto. He is almost 9, and it's a Hanoverian, and we're doing dressage. Just starting to do level 4, and he's doing great. I've always loved horses. We didn't live on a farm, so I had to go to a riding school in Holland. And I was about 9 when I started riding. I've got the arena for about 7–8 years now, and it is fabulous. It's the only flat piece on the farm. Vince had to make it with a digger. Yeah, to make it flat. I've got the mirrors, so I can check in the mirror if he is standing square or not. And that really helps. And also if you have to do lateral work, that you go from one side to the other. Well, I try to ride about 5–6 days a week. If Vince needs me, I just have to work around it. But it takes me normally about 1.5–2 hours a day to ride.
Come on, Bella, come on.
Okay.
Bella, who grew up as a city girl in Holland, is often called on to do farm work.
Yep, so a yellow one. So today we're marking the calves. Some of these Charolais calves that are girls are still just going to get a yellow tag because they'll just go to the works. Whereas the purple ones will keep through and they'll be our future breeding stock.
Yesterday I was riding my horse, and today I have to help with the calves. So I have to pay my money to be able to ride my horse.
Bella's adjusted very good. Like, it was always a concern of mine probably earlier on in our relationship. She's moved from the other side of the world. It's something I certainly couldn't do myself. Yeah, she's fitted in. She's been able to make friends through her teaching and her horse riding.
Sometimes if he tells me things that I don't understand when we're in the cattle yards or something, I just give him a few warnings, and if he keeps going, I just go home and say, do it yourself.
I'll pass me a packet, then I'll do it.
But I need to put the new stuff on. It's still here 15 years later, so something must be right.
Vince Ainsley is single-minded, always focused on getting the best out of the farm.
There you go.
Morning, Vince.
3 tonne to the hectare.
3 tonne to the hectare.
Yep. And just try and do that, the main part of the paddock, because that's going in fodder deep. There's lime and super 10 going up with a few minerals, the selenium and cobalt. We're just trying to get the soil ready for this particular paddock it's going in. We're going to trial fodder beet this year for the first time. And so half the paddock's going to be fodder beet and half the paddock's going to be chow. It's more just really getting the soil right. You spend a lot of money on crops like on tractor work and getting it ready, so you want to make sure that there's the minerals and the things in the ground, nutrients for the crop to grow. So this is for our winter feed, trying to fatten our calves a wee bit better and quicker. If we can bring them out of the winter, 40, 50 k's heavier than what we have been just on normal chows or Swedes, it puts us a month ahead at the other end, so we're able to kill them at heavier weight.
Don't look at throwing the ball so fast, kids.
And Vince Ainsley's success on the land extends to the local community.
Okay.
When Vince Ainsley's not working on the family farm, Bushy Park, he's usually off to hockey.
I'm in charge of 500 odd kids at Gore, so there's lots of different families.
Vince chaired a committee that raised $500,000 to build a sporting complex in Gore.
We had 3 main contributors to it. One was the Community Trust of Southland, the other was the Matera Licensing Trust, and the third was the general public.
Remember, we still have to trap the ball properly.
Enabled us to build a world-class facility in a nice wee town of Gore.
Vince coaches a young Southland rep team.
Good.
We're just going to start, guys, in pairs, pushing the ball, okay? We're holding that one position and reducing the time it's taking us to get rid of that ball.
Remember, it's not how hard we pass the ball, it's the time that it takes us from when we trap it to when we push it.
Probably here 3 or 4 days a week, maybe more some weeks. Like coaching different teams and helping out other coaches and playing myself.
Give yourselves a bit of room, where you go.
But his most intense period for the game was leading the effort to build the hockey ground and stadium.
Pass to your left.
I was fortunate enough to have a worker, and